It looks like Kabam have done an oopsie when it comes to the Summoner Sigil launch. What the heck is going on with the old Man Logan and the Colossus buff? And we've got a little MCU story for you for good measures. Yes, hello and welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions news now with more swishy rotatey action. But yes, we've got a lot of stories, and before going anywhere, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button with post notifications on if you're indeed new to the channel. Thank you very much. Our first story begins with week 2 of the Summoner Showdown. If you're not familiar with this, every Wednesday at 2100 hours GMT, which I think is 4 PM Eastern or Pacific Eastern, whatever it is, have a look in your time frame, what time it is. There's going to be a live stream of the Summoner Showdown. 3 competitors will take part to try and see who is going to be victorious against a specific build champion. Last week it was Deadpool. This week it's unknown whether it would be the same. I can imagine it would be different so that there's less of preparation and it's very much off the cuff when they get to fight up against something. So there is something this week of a competition for you. The 3 competitors this week are Cade, Big Blue 807, and my mutant bro, and that is Frojo34. Now, how you can get involved is by going to the contest, and it's not like it was last week where there was a big scufferoony with it, where people were just posting screenshots. And this is what you need to do: you just click on the button. They say, as I just did there, click on the button. It will take you to this, and it gives you the instruction of how to do this. So you do this in order to get it sorted. There's only been 8,849 total entries, which is kind of low than I would have expected. But in any case, yep, as it says here, who will win? Submit your dual screenshot. So it just kind of like shows you the means of it and how to do this. So do click the link and it shows you how to do it. In other news, and I wanted to do a little bit of MCU news because this story broke and I thought it was pretty cool. One of the writers was asked about the link between the old man version of Captain America. And if you're not familiar with this, if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, well, I can imagine you have seen Avengers Endgame. It's the biggest film of all time. And I don't mean that sarcastically, I'm pretty excited by that fact. But they had this little bit where Captain America went back, or Steve Rogers went back in time to then return the stones, as well as, I think, Mjolnir. Anyway, the fact is, what happened with him getting older? What happened with him having a happy life? And he did. He had a happy life with Peggy Carter. But there's been this one scene that's come up again, and that is in Civil War. In Captain America Civil War in 2016, we saw this scene here where there's a funeral. And in this funeral procession, there's somebody carrying the casket. And this is rumored to be the older version of Captain America. Now, he would have had to... I mean, it doesn't really look exactly like Steve Rogers. And even though Steve Rogers would have been sitting down at the funeral, you know, like that, it would be kind of weird to kind of consider that... well, an older version would have to keep himself quiet. But he is this side... when he's taking down the casket, so therefore where Steve Rogers was sat, he wouldn't be able to see his older self in the timeline. So it's a kind of a cool nod. I think that it is brilliant if that is indeed the case, although I'm not 100% sure how those timelines kind of interact with the way they overlap, and something that was said previously in the film about cause and effect. Anyway, it just causes a paradox of sorts, but I thought it was a quite interesting story to share in Marvel Contest of Champions news. Right, now back onto game stuff. Now, as you can see here, we have got information on Sunspot as well as what we'll be seeing Warlock in a moment. If you do want to check out this video, go to the link in the description. This gives further detail to synergies and a real kind of idea of how things break down. That's got to us by Marvel Contest of Champions journal, and also Ultra, because they've come together to put this little video together, which is nice. I do like the way that Sunspot is in this constant kind of flame-like form, where we've had obviously Human Torch, but he's not been in that form, so it's kind of cool to be in this constant state. I didn't know what to really expect going into this, but I'm pretty happy that he's in this constant state. It looks pretty badass in any case. There's something that reminds me of, but I can't really put my finger on it, like a game where the character looks exactly like this. But the build's fantastic. I think Kabam should be very proud of themselves with what they've produced with this. And the animations look pretty cool as well. Here comes the SP3. That is amazing just to see that. That reminds me of Days of Future Past. If you haven't seen the film, go and watch it. It's an amazing film. Warlock looks like it's just a feast of debuff effects and a really nice heal off of the back of the SP3. Something that I'm really excited to see right now. But the power control aspect does mean that he's going to be very, very sought after. Oh my god, that run animation gets me every... Oh god. What is up with that run animation? Just honestly, I love it. I love it a lot. Anyway, now that I've composed myself, you can see that the extent of degeneration is not too bad. It looks like damage output does look quite good in any case, so it is impressive enough to see this. I don't know. I'll have to wait until I review the champion for CCP whether or not I think it's any good. In other news, and there's a lot of questions being asked, where's the buff for Old Man Logan? Where's the buff for Colossus? And as well, like what's happening with Polar Opposites, the third variant. Well, as it stands, nothing has been changed with Old Man Logan just yet, and the animations for the heavy attack as well as the SP1 for Colossus have indeed changed. But unfortunately, if you're waiting to see the buff, it is not going to happen for a little while. This will more than likely come in the next couple of weeks, or maybe at the point of the release for back issues 3, which again, we have no release date for. As soon as I get more information, I'll let you know. And for those interested, this is what the L1 now looks like, which I think is pretty cool. And also, this is what the heavy attack looks like, which is similar to Red Hulk and looks pretty cool as well. And now onto the big scuff, which is the Summoner Sigil. Hasn't been the most cleanest of entries into the game, so it has been a bit annoying, a bit frustrating. Especially for those that noticed very early on, they were like, oh, that's an exploit. And only with 3 fights in Arena, they found that they were able to completely 100% smash the test of the Cavalier, or the respective difficulty that you were doing, which is good in some ways for some, but not for others, obviously, that wanted to grind it out. It was picked on very early, which is annoying, because with Kabam Lyra saying, we're working on a fix for this issue. It wasn't an issue to me. I wanted this. It's an issue to you, because obviously you don't want to give everyone scuffy content. But the fact is, a lot of players were like, people were like, oh, Reg, yeah, it's fine, just do 3 fights and it's done. No, because I got to the table late, and all the beautiful food had been taken, and I was left with the scraps. So I had to make the best of a meal. But it didn't stop there, people. Yes, there was more scuffness, and it was with the featured 5-star crystal. Very early on, people were going, right, well, the look of it's very different, and also from the information of the champions within it, it wasn't exactly the correct one. It was the previous one, which obviously annoyed a lot of people, because they were like, well, I wanted a shot at getting a 4,000 5-star shard saving at trying to get a Namor, a Calobsidian, an Ebony Maw. Why not? I can imagine that some people want that champion. But yeah, it's kind of annoying not to see any consistency here with this. And it just seems like, well, what's next? What are we expecting to go wrong next time? In any case, mind effery aside, and let's focus on the core aspect of the Summoner Sigil. And again, more problems that are associated with it. And that is purchase. People have been purchasing things in the Black ISO market and have not been receiving them. Something that I hope that Kabam rectify as soon as possible. Also, people were complaining about limits. The fact that they decided to purchase and they only saw like 1 of them, but then it was changed to 3. So Kabam really had a bad time getting this into the game. I don't know, maybe it was some miscommunications. Maybe some of the devs, when they were putting it in, didn't code things correctly. I really don't know what's going on, but it has been a very, very disappointing kind of launch for this. I'm still very much on the fence with the Summoner Sigil, whether or not I feel that it's going to be a good thing monthly for me to buy into. If it's a case that they still do the unit offer, that's effectively £15 I'll be spending into the game each month. And how does that really scale over the course of a year? Yeah, in some cases I'd be getting some value, but is it something for me at this given time? I really don't know. I think I'd have to see what I'm losing out on in order to make sure whether or not I see this as a valuable thing in the future. If not, a lot of the stuff I can either grind out myself, increase my grind time in things like Arena, those kind of things. But if I value my time more, then will I be more inclined to get this? I still do not know. It depends if I will be extensively playing MCOC in the future or not. But those things have to be really outweighed on their value. But now, based on what you see, will you be buying? Put it in the comment section down below. It'd be interesting to see how many people are interested in actually getting this now that they've had a chance to really use it for themselves. On to our final story, and it's arena predictions time. All my predictions are down here at the moment if you did want to check them out. But I'm going with a very kind of close to the mark with previous featured champions that come into the game. Sunspot won't go out with much hype because it's too quick to turn around a CCP champion review. I think Kabam were very close to the mark. We're trying to get this out, so it's very much a case that you'll see the arena and the crystals before you see any kind of hype from any kind of MCC YouTuber. I'm going with 55 mil for Sunspot. It is good enough. He is a great damage outputter from what I've seen and for the information from the videos that I've seen as well and things that I've read. So I feel that 55 mil is safe, especially considering that Mysterio recently went for about 52, 53 mil. So 55 I think is pretty much fair for this champion. The 4-star, I'm going with 12 mil to be safe. Normally these champions are about 11 mil a time. I just feel that 12 mil would probably be a safe point for people to go with. And then for the 3-star version, 1.5 mil I think is a given with this. If you want to feel really safe, 1.55, but 1.5 mil is absolutely safe. And then finally for the basic, for Cyclops, the best champion in the game, Kabam Mike's Bay, I would go with 1.6 mil, which is fair. It's a little bit above the norm, and normally these champions go for 1.5, 1.55, but I think 1.6 mil is going to be safe for this guy. If you are feeling a little bit worried, maybe 1.65, but I think otherwise you're putting it too much to overkill for a champion that is essentially average. There we have it. That's been Marvel Contest of Champions news for the 7th of August 2019. I'm really looking forward to getting a lot of different content out to you today because this update day, and I want to do a Sinister Labs video, I want to do a Boss Battles video, and also do a slight commentary on the Summon Showdown, but not extensive as I did before, because it's just not going to work with the time frame and trying to get these videos out. Check out some of my other content here. I will see you later on for the other videos. Have a great day, whatever you're doing. Have a great grind against Sunspot and against Warlock. So, yep, see you later on.